to the workshop, tools in the light. Screws and glue, they're holding it tight. Piece by piece, it's a builder's delight. Making dreams in the still of the night. Let's get into it, let's get building now. Put it all together, I'll show you how. Screw by screw and a little glue too. Welcome to the workshop, it's waiting for you. In the heart of creation, models take form. One more piece and they'll weather the storm. Engines roar or a ship in its prime. Building bonds stronger than time. Your hands are steady, your vision is clear. Dreams in plastic, they're finally here. Every piece has its very own song. In this workshop where we all belong. Let's get into it, let's get building now. Put it all together, I'll show you how. Screw by screw and a little glue too. Welcome to the workshop, it's waiting for you. Hours fly by as the pieces align. Apart work, beauty and design so fine. You're the maker, turning vision to truth. Building wonders for dreams of your youth. Hours fly by as the pieces align. Apart work, beauty and design so fine. You're the maker, turning vision to truth. Building wonders for dreams of your youth.
Hi all, and welcome to another Tinker and Talk Tuesday. Now, I've probably set myself up for disaster. I'm trying something new today. I'm also live streaming on Facebook, so hopefully that is working. As far as I can see, it is, but it's certainly a new thing for me. So let's give it a go. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So hopefully all is well. So tonight, if you saw yesterday's video of the Mallard, I'm going to be doing a little bit of painting for the Mallard. It's something that I normally do sort of in the background, apart from obviously the big painting video that I did do with the body, etc. But I figured it's something that needs to be done. I've still got to get all the paint done, so I figured I'd do it on tonight's Tinker and Talk. So I'm sure it won't be too taxing. I don't really want anything too taxing because I'm actually off to London tomorrow, so there won't be any more videos for the rest of the week potentially. But I've got a couple of things on the workbench, as you can probably see, that I'm going to show you. Now, you might have seen some of these already, but I'll take you over to the workbench and I'll show you what I got. Hey, Bergdis. Right, so you might have seen the video for this already. Now, this is the Mike Lane watch stand, or comlink stand, looking just like that. Now, I think it's absolutely brilliant. And if you haven't seen the video for that, do check out the rest of the videos on my channel, and you'll see me assembling this. But I have to say, it does look absolutely stunning. Even without the clear perspex case, it looks really, really good. Now, one thing I mentioned last week, obviously, about these little plaques. I'm still trying to convince Mike to start producing these sort of things for models, similar to what Partware Upgrades did. So the more comments and things of positive comments, etc., the more I can throw at Mike to say, look, it's definitely worth doing. So yeah, do keep saying about that. Now, with that in mind, Mike did this for me as a bit of a one-off. I think he did it for someone else as well. But this is what I use to display next to kit when I do shows. And you can see there's a nice little holder there for the remote control. Obviously, this is about the same size as the Partware Upgrades ones. And if I just get one of the Partware Upgrades blueprints as a comparison, it's actually a little bit bigger, you can see. And in fact, if I put it on the top camera, it might be better visual. So this one's a bit big, bit bigger than the Partware Upgrades one. The camera's going to focus. Doesn't like the light reflecting off that one. There we go. So I don't think we'd want anything this big, but something maybe half this size as a little display board. So the more comments I get for that, the better. And obviously, it would be then worth Mike doing a little bit more investigation and research, but something this sort of size should be good. But obviously, if you want to get one of these, if you've got a comlink, or even if you don't have a comlink, just a nice little watch stand, go over to Mike's website and check that out. But as I say, this is a one-off, or a one of two I know of. I think they look absolutely fantastic. Right, so moving on to tonight's work. Now I've pulled out a few of the pages of the painting. Some of it has been done. So we've got some various bits there, and some hasn't been done. So the main bit I think to try and do tonight is get this done. And try and get the back head looking like it's ready to go in the engine. And that's basically what it's hopefully going to look like at the end of the day. I do need to find that pipe, which I'm pretty sure is in the box above me. The seats, etc. are all done. So they're all detailed. Again, the camera will focus. So painted blue on the back and underneath, and we've got the black seat. So both of the seats are done. We've got these little brackets that need a little bit of silver adding to them. I think this is primarily done. It just needs a bit of file work to get that to go around those pipes. This was the biggest thing that needed a lot more work. If you saw yesterday's video, trying to get that to fit against there, with those pipes that came down, almost nigh on impossible. Even with the cutout that I've done on the back there, it's just ridiculous. So that is probably still going to need a little bit more work just to get that to go and sit on there. And this actually needs a little bit more detailed paint as well. We've got another couple of bits that need painting the extra details of. Mainly this little speedo box. Now, at the minute, I can't find these Windows frames. So I'm hoping they're in a box somewhere safe, and I've misplaced them somewhere. But these are the ones that should go as a sliding window. So if they're missing completely, then it's not the end of the world. I can sort of fudge it a little bit using the side windows. But yeah, at the moment they are missing, so I'm not painting those tonight. But primarily gauges and the back head and a little bit of detailing on that, which hopefully will look like that when it's done. Hey Chris, here's Zen. Now, theoretically, I can still make people's comments pop up. Yes, great. Yep, our eldest is going to be 9 on Sunday. Can't believe it's going to be 9, almost double digits. Now, I don't know if anyone's checking, but if you are watching on Facebook, then in theory I can pop those comments up as well. Still testing the water with that one. So go back to trial Tuesday rather than tinker and talk. Right, so what's the best way to start this? I think we got a couple of little bits that we need to do in brass. So that's probably where we're going to start off. Now I've got some Vallejo brass, and for the pipes I've got some Mr. Colour Super Metallic Copper. It's not just copper, it's super copper. So let's grab a brush, and don't have anything to wash and brush out in a minute. And need to get some blue roll. Wasn't that organised for tonight's stream, was I? So worried about trying to get it on Facebook and playing with that idea. I don't have half the things that I need. Right, so we should be set. So first things first, just going to take this one, and I'll probably switch to the side camera, hopefully, and then you might have a better view of what I'm actually doing. So you just need to basically pick out the details on this one. I have to say, this Vallejo brass is a really nice brass. Used others before, which are nowhere near as shiny as this. Right, so that's that one picked out. All the details on that. The other things we need are these gauges. Now you need to do the outer part of this brass. The pipe is going to be copper. So I'll do all the brass bits first, and then we'll move on to the copper. Well, in theory, Facebook's working. I can see it on my other screen that it's working, so hopefully it is. I'm not brilliant at brush painting, if I'm honest, especially when I'm dropping the actual item I'm trying to paint. But I think it helps when the item you're painting is of a reasonable size. Try and paint something really tiny, then fail miserably. A minute I knew I'd get brass on the front, which is hopefully why. Do this bit and then do the white in the inside, which hopefully will cover up my mistake. It's a myth, Chris. It's a myth. Right, that gauge. Try and get it so it doesn't sit on its face. Now this is something we should have done ages ago. This is issue 73, 75. And obviously well past 100 now. So I have sort of delayed this quite a bit. And sometimes it's just not having the time to do it. So that's where this tinker and talk comes in. I can tinker away, still do a video, and hopefully not get too stressed about it. Let's see if we can find... That's probably a better way of holding it. Well, there's working and there's working, you know. Two different levels of working. Yep. At least if you get in trouble, Chris, that you've still got a nice big workshop to sleep in. And I saw the photos. I even showed Rachel as well. Looks pretty impressive. In theory, is 2 streams. Probably I shared YouTube as a stream. That was 9 hours ago. But in theory, I should be live on Facebook. Literally no idea. I'm still making it up as I go along. But I figured I'll try something new. I've been thinking about it for a while, and I thought, hell, what the hell? Let's just do it tonight. Right, so that's the brass done on those. Did we need brass on anything else? Don't think we did. Maybe on the back head, actually. Yes. So my plan is hopefully try and do all one colour at a time. It might be across multiple parts. So we've got this gauge just here. I'm hoping that this will be where the back head really comes alive. Because obviously at the minute it's just a black lump of metal. I can't believe I've almost finished this model. Not the first one I've done on the channel, see. First model finished on the channel would have been Kit, actually. Knight Rider. Hey Ramon. Congratulations on the finishing the Cobra. I'll probably get back on that possibly next week and see how far I get on with it. I'm not going to ask when you were 9, Chris. Okay, so YouTube is actually, or Facebook is actually working properly then. That's good. Good to know. One thing that has failed me is my tablet that I normally bring comments up on, so I'm having to do it on the laptop over there. For some reason, the tablet just keeps stopping the second screen streaming. So, not sure why that is, but just means I've got a lot of more things going on a single screen. Right, starting to get some colour on this. What I should be doing is looking at the proper page. Then it's a little bit clearer. That'll make things so much better. Actually see what I'm doing. So next we need this piece. Now, if any of you are local to Plymouth, Devon or whatever, this Saturday there is a model show run by the Plymouth Model Association, and I'll be there displaying some of the models. So if you fancy popping along, go for it. Hey Mike. Yeah, back mats are brilliant. And obviously you've seen recently my video for the trunk carpets. It's fully carpeted now, which is great. Right, so looks like we got something here. Sometimes it's a bit more difficult to see what you've got when it's just a black lump. There's going to be a little bit of brass just there. Probably be useful if I knew what some of these parts were. I know what this is. This is a regulator, and that's about it. Water gauges, I know that much. Rest of it, not sure. There's a steam turret, which also needs a bit of brass on the front. Like so. So we've got brass on the top and bottom of the water turret. Oh, we need a little bit of brass on the regulator connector there. Like that. In fact, I think we need a little bit more brass on these water gauges. I'm not sure if it's water gauges or sight gauges. That's the actual terminology for them. I think I called them sight gauges on the Scotsman last week. Oh yeah, the Supra looks really nice. The orange is absolutely stunning. And I just hope they don't screw anything up with it like they did with the Skyline. Although there's a man who can fix anything. Well, I say that, Mike, when I say fix something. You fixed something for me, didn't you? I saw Mike earlier. Basically returned my kit because he's been borrowing that to do some video on it. I'm not going to tell you what he's actually videoing, but he still needs to borrow it again. But before he borrows it back, I need to fix something. And to be fair, Mike has said that he would fix it for me, but I already had planned to disassemble kit again anyway to fix a small issue, which Mike tried fixing, and to be fair, he fixed it. He ended up breaking something else, but he's replaced the part, so it's absolutely fine. It just means that before he borrows it back, I'll fix the issue that I was going to. Right, I think that's all the brass done. Though I keep saying that, and then I spot a bit more that needs to be brass colour, which is the back part of those gauges. I'm sure if I looked around, I could probably find a photograph of the actual back head of the Mallard. Is when they did the Great Gathering, and they had all the surviving A4s over here at the York Museum. Me and the wife went to York, and we've actually stood on the footplate of all surviving 6 A4s. Right, so that's definitely all the brass now, yes? Yes, right. Because I think the bit on there is copper. So brass, brass, brass. And there should be, here we go. Okay, so there is a little bit of brass on this one as well. I thought it was all copper. Do a quick try and catch up on a little bit of chat. Yeah, Mike has that ability. The wife doesn't know it yet, but I've already earmarked another model that I want, and as it happens, it's in stock at Mike's. I want to do the IXO, I think it's IXO, the Super Impreza, but I think I'm going to have to wait until a subscription finishes. I've suggested the RB19 to my brother. He's a bit of a Formula 1 buff, so. Right, everyone's heard it first. I'm allowed to get as many Mike Lane mods as I can. I have asked Mike for mods for the Skyline, carpets and mats being one of them. However, I know it's on a long list that he's got. Now, he did tell me last year what he'd like to do to the skyline. Don't know that I can actually share that, but if you've seen the back circuit, then and the Night Rider, then you can probably let your imagination run wild with what Mike's got planned. Don't forget the bat beacon as well. Bat beacon is brilliant. I've got it plugged on a jerry-rigged power supply at the minute, so it's constantly flashing. And it's just in like its demo mode, so it goes through all the different light functions. So I think that is now, he says famously, all the brass. Nope. It will be all the brass in a minute, I promise. Where's that pipe gone? There it is. Right, so this now goes brass. This has got to be the last thing, sure of it. The problem with the chat being on the laptop and not on the tablet, it's not right in front of me. Just find your biggest one, Chris. Biggest model that would fit in the shed. Yeah, don't have DeLorean carpets, but obviously you've got the Batmobile, got Knight Rider, both really nice. Drag car, which is that? Yeah, yeah, flash guns, good shout. Always say about a bat circuit. I don't know how Wayne keeps up. I'm way behind on chat, and there's hardly anyone in it. I can see how Wayne just loses it now. Uh-huh. No problem, Mike. Anything I can do to help, always around. And really appreciate, obviously, what you're doing and supporting the channel as well. I think Mike now does ClearPay and things like that. So yeah, if you need to spread something out, that's always a good thing. Yep, Skyline mods incoming. Yep. H. Let's have a look. What else we got here? Scrolling down. Hey, Ian. Ian, how strict is the 7 days for any auction items? And if anyone missed that, there's a Partwork upgrades auction coming up on Sunday, and it'll be on the Partworks Live stream that Mark and Kev do on a Sunday night. So I think Ian's having an Everything Must Go sale. So do check that out. What else got here? Everyone's saying hi. I do apologise if I miss your chat. There seems to be tons of it coming now. Okay, no worries, Ian. There's a couple of things I might have an eye on. I saw the list go out today, so we shall see. Right, that's definitely all the brass done now. So let's clean that off. And we'll now go for the copper. There's tons of this copper to do. Certainly on the back head anyway. Primarily, it's going to be all the pipework, I think. Again, I should switch to the right page. The Aventador, that's been catching my eye for a while actually. I've been considering buying it, even when can't remember who it was now. Someone was doing a sale when it was like up to like almost 50% off. So to consider that, and I think you've got the resin printer listed as well. A couple of things I'm interested in. Yeah, I saw that as well. My first thought was maybe we should all chip together and give it to Esther. I'm sure Esther would love that machine. Hey, Wayne. I'm sure Esther's got her eyes on that nice embroidery machine that Ian's got for sale. I think this copper paint could probably do it being thinned. It's quite a thick paint, this one. But it does look nice. It really does look copper. Again, had some that just looked really dull. And it looks more like brown as opposed to a metallic copper. Oh, what's going on? Chance has gone haywire. There we go. All right. I'm just thinking, yeah. I know Esther's got her eye on it. So, yeah. Maybe an early Christmas present, Wayne. You're not rattling with the amount of cracking you're taking along, are you, Wayne? But safe travels. And you haven't had your chocolate confiscated from you, I guess, that you're taking over. To be fair, Wayne, how many partworks do you get through the door? You must be on first term basis with your delivery driver. There's so much copper on this. I thought brass was enough. But it's certainly starting to come together with all the additional colour on here now. Doesn't just look like a bit of black metal. One thing I did consider, and actually got some for the Flying Scotsman, is actually instead of using the brass wire that they gave us, just using copper electrical wire for this, then I wouldn't have to paint it. But then I thought it would probably turn green or something, and then wouldn't look very good. I suppose actually if you clear coated it, it wouldn't oxidise. Now, if anyone's going to overhaul electrics, you are definitely the man for the job, Mike. Right, where else are we going to do copper? I'm going to be seeing this pipe work in my sleep tonight. To be fair, apart from doing the back head in black, I don't know why we need to spray the whole thing in black. I know I said it actually, I think last week, about how the Scotsman is different to the Mallard, and that I think that they went backwards when the Mallard came out. So the Scotsman, as you saw, the back head was already painted in black. So you painted the black head before assembling it. And again, I think this should have been done that way. I think it would have been a little bit cleaner looking. Because if you're just using maybe enamel paints or something like that, they pretty much paint onto anything. Right, but that's what that's looking like at the moment. Not looking too bad. So this is the Mallard. This is something that I've been putting off since issue 73. We're well over 100 now. but it's just one of those things that I just haven't had time to get around to doing. Now I have to do the exact same job when it comes to doing Flying Scotsman. Now, last week I did the back head of Flying Scotsman, and as I say, you'll see that was already painted in black, and then we added the bits on top. And I painted the bits, like the sight gauges, for instance, while they were still on the sprue. So, again, that to me seems a better way of doing it. And if I'd really thought about it, I would have probably done the same for this, but I just obviously followed it step by step with the instructions on this one, trying not to deviate from them, apart from where, yeah, I've avoided painting something, and that's the only time I really deviated. But I do wish that I'd probably just followed on and done a bit of the painting first, and then done this, because it wouldn't have been so bad obviously painting the pipe work. Again, you could have bent that and then painted it and then put it in place, but even just the little fiddly bits like the gauges and things that we've got to put in here, then that would have been a better option to have that not fixed, because then you can obviously paint both sides of the gauges and things like that. So right, so I think that's all the copper on that one. Oh, I say that and then catch my finger on one that I haven't done, which would be this one that comes along the top here. And to be fair, this one will probably be pretty much invisible when it's actually in the engine. Right, so that's what that is looking like. We've got to do a little bit of copper on this one, and even on the gauges as well. Basically, all the pipe work needs to be copper. No worries, Ian. Catch you later. Hey, go for it. Oh, nice. I'll check that out in a minute. Move on. Gonna need a long shelf. The two together, just looking over at the Flying Scotsman at the minute, they're probably easily half a metre long each, with their tender. So they're too long for most of our shelves. Welcome aboard, go for it. Glad to have a new subscriber. Trying to. I'm going to be painting pipes in my sleep tonight, I think. Now, this is probably going to sound very, very wrong. And it's a question I asked my wife. Anyone that uses the Mr. Hobby or Mr. Colour paints, do you think that the smell of them is like Battenberg? It smells like Battenberg cake to me. So if you haven't had any Mr. Hobby paint, this is going to sound wrong. Go and sniff it. I don't know. It's the only paint that I've used that I think, okay, I want some Battenberg cake now. the wife didn't agree with me for some reason. I don't know why. Cheers, Mike. Yeah, still got a little while. Yeah, Scotsman's definitely Mallard definitely going to get finished before Scotsman. So we're only 13 issues away from the final issue on that one. Right, let's just double check this one. So yeah, we just had that bit of copper, nothing on that one, so that's all good. So let's go for these gauges. How long have we got left? 10 minutes. Not too bad. Might get all the copper done. Like, you can see just how long the painting takes, and try and squeeze this into everything else that's going on around. It's a little bit difficult. Just rinse that brush off a minute. Good question, Chris. I hadn't even considered what it might have in it that would make that smell. But you could be onto something. And no, I haven't tried tasting it. These tweezers are rubbish. Yeah, would be good. My brush rinser is a small pot of isopropyl alcohol and a bit of blue cloth. Which, to be fair, is functional. It works. And to be fair, apart from doing something like this, I'd rather do airbrushing, which I'm getting a little bit better at. If I remember where I put it. I haven't finished it. You remember on the channel a while back, I've been doing the F15. Well, it's now looking a different colour now. That's all airbrushed. Still got to do the camera on that. This section's got to be silver. And I've got to do the darker section on the front there. But getting there with that one. But yeah, I certainly do prefer airbrushing, I think. So we've got the copper on that. I should do for the last 10 minutes. I want to try and find something that's relatively quick. And I think it's probably going to be the white of the gauges. So what we got here, we've got a bit of flat white. Yeah, I'll check that out after the stream. Now, my guess is probably that this is going to need a couple of coats of white to get it to properly cover. But I'm also hoping that putting a reasonable amount in, the lip will hold it all in. That's my plan anyway. As you can see, it's covering the brass that I did put in the front quite nicely. If I use that block, hopefully, just so I can rest it on there. Brilliant. So that's the gauges on that, and then we've got I think it's just one gauge on here, which is this one. What I'm going to do, it says light blue in this, but I am going to paint the glass white and then probably go over it with a light blue. Dang it. I have to re-glue that. I need to cut that off smoother so I don't keep catching it. So you can see it's a little bit more difficult trying to get the paintbrush down the side of this, whereas obviously with the Flying Scotsman, I painted it off the back head and you could paint all around it. So it does seem that when they did the Mallard kit, or the instructions for the Mallard kit, they seem to go backwards, which I find a bit weird. But I think that is now going to be it for painting of the Mallard. So all that's really left, I think, is red and silver on this. So I just switch to the top cam. So we've got the red and silver of these parts, and then that's all done. The gauges are now all done. That's done. That's done. Could probably do a touching up the silver a little bit on the top of that one. We need to put silver on those, and obviously didn't even get as far as the driver and fireman, and they're still armless at the moment. But maybe this will feature again on another Tinker and Talk. You never know. So that is it. Thank you very much for joining me on another Tinker and Talk, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one. I think in possibly a couple of weeks' time, maybe 3 weeks' time, there will be a lapse in Tinker and Talk Tuesday because I will be in London again. I know I'm in London tomorrow, but yeah, in a couple of weeks or so time, I'm in London again on a Tuesday night, so there will not be a Tinker and Talk, but I'll let you know that ahead of time anyway. So hopefully you can join me on the next one, and hopefully I'll see you all next week. Cheers!